Alright, hey guys, today I'm gonna be making a bait in this in this software. Um, and I'm gonna be showing you basically how I do it. I know Pip Harris. His channel is Dr. House. Some of you guys might know him. Uh, he does. He's been wondering how I do this, and so is Fishing All Day 31. So I'm gonna give them, if they see this, I'm gonna give them a quick overview on how I'm doing this, and I'm gonna get going now. So, as you guys can see, right here you have your bar. I don't know what it's called. Menu, basically. I know this is your menu. I don't know what this is. It's basically where you get your shapes and your commands. I think it's the command bar. I'm not sure. Uh, and right now I'm gonna get some cylinders. I'm gonna make a small grub, just something basic. So I'm just gonna have it, maybe, because in these cubes are centimeters. Just letting you guys know that, so you guys know. So right now I'm going to copy this image, right click it, and then so I can have perfect circles all around it. And I'm just free doing this. I'm not doing this professionally. I'm just showing you guys how I would make a grub if I needed to make a grub mold for hand pouring soft plastic baits. So that's enough. That's about 2 inches, I would say, maybe 2 inches, a little bit less. So you have that piece, and then what I would do is I would get a rectangle, and hold on, I'm just gonna show you guys how it looks in 3D real quick. If I put it here, you guys can see how it looks. Basically, I'm just gonna go around and show you guys. It looks pretty cool. I mean, that's basically how the grub would work. Maybe I could push the balls together a little bit more and get a little better view on this. But that's basically how that's gonna look. So that's that. Now I'm gonna get into making of the tail. What I do is usually I just put this little square beginning, or actually no, this isn't how I do it. I'm gonna get this cone piece, and from the to make it kind of like a funnel, so it doesn't just drop off into the tail. And what I do there is I basically just do that, and if and I'm gonna go around and show you guys how it looks like. As you guys can see there, the ball kind of decreases. I would make it more even, so it's not like a drop off, and so the cone wouldn't be so visible. But just for demonstrational purposes, I'm doing it like this. So and you could also scale it if you mess up, so it doesn't matter. So that's that, and I'm gonna make the rectangle piece, and I usually start off about this much, and I don't go too far because this is a grub, doesn't need a long tail. And I'm gonna zoom in, and from the side I'm gonna see how thick I want the tail. It's about a tenth of a centimeter. It's about good. And I'm gonna line this because when you split the mold in half, you're not gonna wanna you're gonna want it to be even. So that's that. Show you guys this. Show you guys how it looks like. Basically like that. You guys can see there. Software is getting kind of slow. Okay, that's that. And now what I do is I get a cylinder, the hollow cylinder. Actually, it's called a tube, I think. And what I do there is I kind of grab the center and zoom in because I want it to be precise. And I click right there. The CNC machine, when it's milling, it really won't pick that up, so it's okay. And then oops, kind of clicked it. Oh, messed up. Have to do that again. It's a pain. So I want it about this far, the radius to be. So I zoom in, click the edge, come back, zoom in, so I can get the full tail. And now I adjust the height right here. I basically do this at a scratch just because I'm not measuring anything. I would use these coordinates on the bottom, right down here, these coordinates right here, but I'm not, just because it's not official. And I'm going to click it about here, and I'm going to place it right where it's supposed to be. As you guys can see, it's a little short. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to transform, scale in one dimension, scale this, right click it. No, that's not what I want to do. Hold on, reset that. And then I want to go scale one dimension, and click this shape, and from this side I want to towards the middle to raise it up, if you guys know what I mean. So I just want to raise it up so it's nice and even, not that precise but nice and even, just for visual purposes. And that's your tail. As you guys can see, when I zoom out, I'm going to shorten this tail so it ends about here, so it has a nice curl tail. And what I do is I drag this off to the side, I get a nice cube, I make the tail about I have to make it straight, but I'm gonna make it to about right here. That's about good. And I'm gonna make it tall so I know what to cut out. And as you guys can see here, oops, as you guys can see here, what I have here is basically the tail. This is what it's gonna be. And I'm gonna go to Boolean split. I'm gonna go to solids, Boolean split. I'm gonna select the object first that I want to split, and I'm gonna press enter, and then the square, enter. And as you guys can see, I have this piece. I'm gonna delete these two pieces right here, and as you guys can see, I have my tail. But I'm also gonna make this piece rounded right here, so it's not just a straight square. Kind of looks ugly. So I'm gonna get the cylinder, not the tube, but the cylinder. I'm trying to estimate right now. Just my eye, it's not very good. That's about the middle. So what I'm gonna do is find the middle somehow, about right there. And I'm gonna adjust the height right now. So that's about good. It's my estimation. Yeah, about right there. So as you guys can see here, what I got is I got a small little thing right here, a small little tail, as you guys can see here. And I'm just gonna scale this real quick because it's kind of bothering me, kind of a perfectionist. So right there, this, and I'm gonna click from here down just so I can lower it or raise it from the bottom. Oops. Up. And just gonna raise it a bit. It's kind of a bad raise, but as you guys can see, it's pretty even. So that's what we have here. Now I'm gonna group this, and I'm gonna press enter. So it's one piece. And once I slide this back in here, as you guys can see, it's a perfectly good grub. I'm gonna zoom out, and I'm getting ready to make my mold now. So you guys can see here, I have a small little grub. It's about 2.5 inches. With the tail extended, it's about 3. So that's my mold. That's my bait, and now I'm gonna start making the mold. So what you want to do is I'm gonna zoom out. Hold on. I'm gonna zoom out, get a rectangle, and make it about right here. And I'm only gonna make one. I'm not gonna duplicate this, but I could if I wanted to. But for time's sake, I don't want to. I'm gonna leave it a little bit extra right here at the end, just so I could tie on my hinge when I make the mold. And what I do there, kind of shorten it so that, yeah, that's about good, about right there, so I can tie on my hinge because the hinge is 1 inch in diameter, so I know what I'm doing there. So that's about enough. And now that I know how big my bait is, I'm gonna raise it maybe to maybe about 1/2 centimeter, maybe a little bit bigger, just for it to be stable. So that's what I'm gonna do. Since this is a symmetrical bait, I only have to do one side. I don't have to do the other. If it was a frog and it had details on top like the eyes, then I would have to have 2 blocks, but right now I only have to have 1. So right now what I'm gonna do is actually move this out of the way now that I know how big this is. And what I'm gonna do here, move this a little bit further. 1 second. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get in the nozzle, and the way I do this, it's pretty straightforward. From here, I just do a little test. I know that on an average injector for soft plastics, the nozzle is about 1 centimeter, so I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger, and just so it fits just like that big, maybe a little bigger. And right now I'm gonna move it off to the side. So I'm gonna zoom out a bit. No, and now I know what I'm doing. So like that, and that's about good. And right here, what we can get is a little bit of a cylinder, so just so it goes into the bait, just maybe like that. That's about good. And this is what we'll get so far. So that's the bait so far. As you guys can see, that's what's gonna be carved out into this block. As you can see, it's halfway. It's nice and even. Everything's good. If I need to, I will make this block a little bigger just so the aluminum's nice and hard here. It's not ever gonna mold from the heat or anything like that, if that happens. So I'm gonna zoom in and kind of align this tube so I know what I'm doing. Right, it's pretty much aligned. These aren't straightforward measurements. I mean, again, like I said, just messing around here, showing you guys basically how I do it. And that's that. And now I'm getting ready to trim. So get this block, push it down. Hold on, move it, move it in the center. Right. And I'm not making vents for this because that's just gonna take up too much time, and it's a video and I really don't have. I'm not gonna spend like make a 20-minute video on how I make my mold. So that's basically that. Hold on, I messed up somewhere. Alright, just move this maybe a little bit down. Move this square. It's a little bit too wide actually. Maybe I could make the hinge right over here instead of on the back. I can make the hinge right along here. So that's that. But again, this is just testing this mold. So that's that. And now I'm gonna get this circle. Aim it here. I'm gonna make this well. So the soft plastic can nest in there, and since it shrinks, it can have kind of like a storage there, so it doesn't like so you don't get air in your baits, which is really bad. You don't want that. So as you can see from the top, how this looks like. Oops. On this perspective, you can see I have my grub, and I also have my mold, my well, and my ejecting spot. So I'm just gonna slide this up halfway. You guys can see it's nice and on half. You guys can see my tail's good, and my bait's good, and my well is nice and aligned right through the point and right through the middle line. So that's that, and now I'm gonna do Boolean split and get my mold. 1 second. I'm gonna go to Boolean split, which is right here. I'm gonna make it here on the ball. I'm gonna make sure I click the well. No, wait, what happened? Oh, sorry about that, guys. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna click the block first, enter. I'm gonna click the parts of the wells first because you can't really do that from the side, and then I'm gonna click all of these little balls because I didn't group them, and plus you really can't group them, so it's okay. Yeah, I'll just click this. Alright, and now you can go to the perspective view, and you can really zoom out and click and see what you did if you clicked all of your pieces, and once you did, you click enter, and the Boolean split is in progress, and now I'm just gonna wait for it to cure in a second. Okay, tolerance had to be double, blah blah blah. Okay, now we have our mold, and now I'm gonna push this along to the side, and I'm gonna show you guys my mold. Without the vents and anything else, guys, if you're wondering why the vents aren't there and blah blah blah. That's exactly why they're not there. As you guys can see, it's a two-part mold. As you guys can see, the well is detailed. The nozzle is nice and good. I inspected the tail. All the pieces are gone. What happened here? Oh, nothing. It's just colored. And that's that. And I'm just gonna delete this real quick. Hold on, 1 sec, guys. And delete this block. And now you're wondering probably why I only have one. Well, I'm gonna mirror this, and it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a nice two-part mold. Right click it, mirror it right at the top, and right there. And now you have a perfect mold, ready to be poured. And sometimes I even do 4 points, one in here, one in here, one in here, one in here, or maybe one here and one there, just so the mold fits in nicely with wing nuts. Or sometimes I put a hinge. I'm thinking this mold could use the points with the clamp, but that's just my preference. And as you guys can see here, I have my mold already finished and ready to be cut by the CNC machine. If I click on the perspective view and click on the rendering, you guys can see how it looks like. Very nice and sleek mold. Not much of a disruption in there. This is how I inspect it. Sometimes if I'm doing it, if I see that, I might kind of go back in detail, but usually the CNC machine doesn't pick that up. It's not really a big deal. as you can see, you can zoom in here, kind of zoom in. See that's where our ball was, because I didn't use precise measurements. Right down here, I didn't use the coordinates. So that's my mold. That's how I make them. Thanks for watching, guys. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Tight lines to you guys.